Welcome to the Explainer. When you think about maintaining a fishing vessel, you might just picture scrubbing the deck. But today, we're going to see why it's so much more than that. We're talking about profit, we're talking about efficiency, and yeah, we're even talking about survival. So let's just start with a simple question, because the answer really tells you everything you need to know. What happens if you let one of these machines, which is out there battling the ocean every single day, go for 6 months without proper care? Well, it can set off a whole domino effect of failures. First up, and this is the big one, your engine could just give up on you. On the left, that's the absolute nightmare scenario, right? You're adrift, you're looking at huge rescue bills, and your entire catch is gone. But on the right, that's what good maintenance gets you, an engine you can trust and a safe trip home. Okay, next, a dirty hull. It's not just about looks. That marine growth literally acts like an anchor. It creates so much drag that you could end up burning up to 50% more fuel just to get anywhere. That means you're slower, and your trips are longer and way more expensive. And finally, we get to the most serious point of all. If you neglect your safety gear, it's not just about getting a fine. When an emergency hits, this is what it all comes down to. We are literally talking about the difference between life and death. So to really get a handle on the kind of maintenance we're talking about, you have to realize these aren't just little boats. These are incredibly sophisticated, diverse machines, and each one is basically the lifeblood of the fishing industry. For example, you've got vessels like trawlers. These are the real workhorses, dragging these enormous nets either along the bottom of the ocean or through the middle of the water to haul in their catch. And then you have these super specialized vessels, like purse seiners, that use this gigantic net to literally circle an entire school of fish, like tuna. It's a really complex operation that needs everything to work perfectly. All right, let's dive into the details, and we're going to start with what you could easily call the heart of the vessel, the engine. And that's such a great way to think about it, right? The engine isn't just a hunk of metal. It's the living, beating center of the whole operation. If it's not healthy, nothing else matters. Now, this stuff here is absolutely non-negotiable. These are like the engine's daily vital signs that you have to check before you even think about leaving the dock. A quick look at the oil, the coolant, the fuel lines, the battery, the belts. It's a simple little routine that can stop a total disaster out on the water. And, beyond those daily checks, you've got to go deeper. That means clearing out the raw water intake so the engine doesn't overheat. It means checking the little impeller that pumps all that cooling water. And it means making sure critical things like your automated bilge pump aren't corroded and are actually going to work when you need them most. This slide right here points out a danger that is so easy to overlook, and it's terrifying. An exhaust leak on a boat isn't just noisy. It can flood the cabin with carbon monoxide. You can't see it, you can't smell it, and it is absolutely lethal. It's why exhaust checks are so important. Okay, so let's move from the heart of the vessel to its exterior, to what we can think of as its skin, the hull. And again, what a perfect analogy. The hull isn't just a shell, it's this active barrier between the boat and the incredibly harsh environment of the sea. And its condition has a direct, massive impact on how well the vessel performs. Just how big of an impact are we talking? Well, get a load of this. A fouled hull, one that's covered in barnacles and algae, can increase drag so much that you're burning up to 60% more fuel. Think about that for a second. That means for every 10 gallons you buy, 6 of them are just wasted fighting your own boat. And that has some huge consequences. It's not just about the money you're wasting on fuel. It means you're slower, your trips take longer, and you're getting less work done. And there's also an environmental cost, because a dirty hull can actually carry invasive species to new places where they can cause a lot of damage. All right, now we get to the systems that are there for one reason and one reason only, to protect the most valuable thing on the entire boat, the crew. This is the vessel's life support. Things like life rafts, fire extinguishers, flares, they don't do anything for the boat's day-to-day work. They just sit there. Until, that is, they're the only thing that matters. This is the gear that keeps people alive when everything else has gone wrong. So at the end of the day, checking this gear is just a complete no-brainer. Yeah, it's about following the rules and not getting fined, but it's so much more than that. It's about making sure your crew has a real chance to survive an emergency. It's the literal difference between coming home and not coming home. So with all this stuff to check, the engine, the hull, the safety gear, how in the world do you keep track of it all? Well, it all comes down to one essential classic piece of equipment, the logbook. And this simple log shows you exactly why it's so powerful. It's way more than just a checklist. You've got the date, the engine hours, the status of everything. But look at the notes column. On February 12th, someone wrote, "Noted vibration at idle." That little detail is everything. It creates a living history of the vessel, and it helps you catch a small problem before it becomes a disaster. And that really leaves us with one last thought. This whole idea of careful, documented maintenance, it applies to so much more than just boats, doesn't it? So think about any machine you really depend on, your car, your tools, whatever. What's the one check you never, ever skip?